Hello guys, MikuChibi here. Welcome back to another Sword Online Factory video. Today we're gonna look at the newest banner, the Sport Selection Order, which is a guaranteed banner where you do one multi and you're guaranteed to get a random 4-star that is featured in this banner. And for 4-star, they are sport theme and more. So only skills that are sport theme, and there are, I believe, 20 skills in this banner. So you can see these are the skills that are in this banner. Use some in the future, not all 20. But if you want to see all 20, you can just scroll down here. You see all 24-star here that you can get, where you have 0.2% chance to get them. And for guaranteed, you have 5% to get the one you really want. So for this banner review, we're gonna talk about the skills. I gotta give my opinion on the skills and then talk about if this banner worth to summon or not. So let's get started. The first skill we're gonna have a look at is MikuChibi. It is a dagger skill, Dark Slash, with 18 switch gauge, 18 break gauge, and for damage it has 1120% damaging a target. It can guarantee to make poison stack and also reduce enemy hit rate by minus 13% for 50 seconds, which is alright. And it has Awakening Rush and gives a 5% attack, which is not bad. It's a decent dagger skill, decent support skill that gives you guaranteed poison, but there are better alternative that is much better than this. So I would say it's fine, not the best. Next up, we have Happy Cheer Asana. It is a pass skill with high battle healing tree that recover your HP by 1% of your max HP per 3 seconds. And has Icy Blade 4, which deals 80% water element damage to enemy, which is fine. Awakening, it gives you extra damage on switch. It's a decent one, not the best, the better alternative, but it still is a fine skill. Next up, we have an Axe mod skill, which has Blunt of Water. It has 42 switch gauge, 54 break gauge, not bad. And it has 1420% damage in your target, 2-slot bonus, damage plus 50% to enemy when using water skills, when equipped to a more AG skill in the same set, plus 1000 attack. Really good mod skill if you're maining Axe, really useful for any blunt water content. For example, currently floor 23, the newest one, it can be really useful if you can combine it with full burst, really good. So this is a good mod skill for Axe. Next, we have Encourage Yell Kirito with a spear skill with Frost and Holy. It has 25 switch gauge, 29 break gauge, decent. 28 HP with 540% damage AoE. It has Holy Light Demon 4 buff, Holy Element damage plus 47% for 8 seconds, really good. Holy Element Weak 4 debuff, Holy Element damage to a monster plus 23% for 10 seconds. This one is a really good support skill if you have a spear build for Holy sets. Otherwise, if you don't, you aren't benefiting any of these skills. But if you, let's say, have a Holy build in other weapon, you can give Spear, this skill here, to Koharu and she can provide buff for that. It does help. And for Awakening, it gives you 20% crit rate, which is fine, decent, if you can crit on the boss. A decent skill in my opinion, but a really good support if you have a really good Spear build that is Holy focus. Next up, we have Champion's Rogue Claim, which is a pass skill and gives you a flat 840 attack when using Axe skill. So really strong pass skill for Axe. It is basically the same as Power Rise 4 that gives you flat attack. And also you get an additional 18% when HP is above 75%. That is if you can keep up your HP above 70%. If you don't, if your HP is under 75%, then you will lose the 80% attack, which is a lot, but still really good. So this passive is really good for Axe user. Next up, we have Lightning in the Ring Asana, which is a Raven skill, Frost and Dark. It has 40 switch gauge, 40 break gauge, not bad. 1230% damage for hitting a target. It has 3-slot bonus, damage plus 1% to enemy when using Dark skill, good. Attack plus 1500 against enemy when with a slash element, basically enemy that weak to frost element. Really good, really strong for any Frost Dark content. I'm pretty sure the next floor gonna be weak to Frost and Dark, so it can be maybe good. And it is one of the strongest mod skill when it comes to Dark element focus, so really good, really strong. I really like it. Next up, upcoming Challenger Xenon, which is a bow skill, Frost and Holy. It has 38 switch gauge, 35 break gauge, not bad. 1130% damage to hitting a target. It has a Holy Light Demon buff. Holy element damage plus 39% for 8 seconds. Good buff. Hunter's Eye 4, the lower your HP, clear rate increased by 50 seconds. This buff is good if you can crit, but if you're fighting an enemy that has high crit resistance, then this one is pretty useless, but this buff can be good. And bonus additional damage according to your own attack, that is if you can, want to deal damage, but doesn't really matter as much. For Awakening, you get 5% attack, which is not bad. I say this is a good bow skill if you're looking for holy element damage. Otherwise, the Hunter I4 buff is decent if you can crit. Otherwise, you don't really need this one. You can easily replace it with something else. Next up, Rising Young Power Lifa, which is an axe skill, Blunt and Door. Has 63 switch gate, 63 breakage, not bad. That is really good. 50% damage, single target. Yes, the Blaze 4 buff, attack plus 20 per stack, 3 stack during 20 seconds. So you can get up to 1980 attack, which is really good. Current skill, attack is plus 2500 to enemy when using break, 5000, 7500. So if you can break the enemy, you'll be able to get more attack using the skill. I would say it's decent, not the best. Nothing like crazy, but you can put any support skill or damage skill that you really need. Still fine to do that. And the connect skill, I would say, is only useful when you can break the enemy. Then it's good. Otherwise, it is decent for now. Next up, we have Trick Jump Xenon, which is a bow skill, Frost and Earth. It has 84 switch gate, which is really good for bow, and 53 breakage, not bad. It has 1230% damage, 6 hit single target. It has Adversity 3 buff, they lower your own HP, crit damage increased by 50 seconds. Good for content that doesn't have any crit resistance. If there are boss that has high crit resistance, it's pretty much useless. Transforming Switch 4 adds a buff when using Switch. Your own evasion rate increased for 20 seconds. 5 stack plus 0.3% per 1 stack. I guess, to be honest, I don't think it's really useful because you rather want to have your mod skill or your full burst on Switch for either damage or buff. So I don't think this skill is the best. Maybe you can use it, but I don't really like the animation, so it is decent for now. For Awakening, you get 5% attack, which is not bad. Next up, we have Flying Over Obstacle Koharu, which is a mace skill, Blunt and Wind. 35 switch gate, 22 breakage, decent. It has 1210% damage AoE, 2 slot bonus, 50% to enemy when using Wind skill, good. When equipping 2 or more Koharu skills in the same set, plus 1000 attack, meaning you need 1 more Koharu skills and the skill will receive 1000 attack when using it. Really good for any Blunt Wind content, and I think this one is level 195, the Butterfly. It is weak to Blunt and Wind, so it can be really useful if you're maining mace DPS. Next up, we have High Speed Flow to Argo, which is an axe skill, Blunt and Wind. It has 92 switch gate, 57 breakage, which is good. 730% damage to hitting a target. It has Wind Pile, so element damage plus 1% per stack. 3 stack for 20 seconds. You can get up to 99 stack, which means 99% wind element damage, which is amazing if you know how to play around stacks. And when you use this on Switch, you will gain 9 stacks instead of 3. Really good support axe if you know how to play around stacks. Otherwise, you can use this as switch gates. 92 switch gate is still really good. Higher than all the rest, Kirito is a pass skill that has Crushing Impact 3, Molotov Blow 4, and Frost Protect 3. Crushing Impact 3 gives you a flat 660 attack, which is really good when you're attacking with Blunt element, meaning it is really good for mace and axe. Mallet Below 4, damage done to enemy weak to Blunt plus 28% against enemy with the debuff status, Mark, Small Mark, Death Mark, Frost Erasure Mark. Really good if you have a teammate that can apply the marks, or if you have it on Koharu, it can be really useful, and plus 28% damage to enemy that weak to Blunt. That is a really good buff for Blunt damage, really good. Frost Protecting 3, reduce damage from 10.4% Frost element monster, basically a monster that has Blunt weakness. It can be useful, 10% if you really care about that. The Crushing Impact 3 and Molotov Blow 4 is really good, so I would say this pass skill is really good for your mace build or axe build, depends what you are using. Really good. Next up, Light of Steph Kirito. It is a bow skill with Frost and Earth. 34 switch gate, 35 breakage, not bad. 1150% damaging a target, Hunted for eye buff, the low HP, critical rate increased by 50 seconds, weak frost 3, damage done to enemy weak to frosting, plus 18% for 8 seconds. I would say this is a good bow skill if you're playing around content that does not have any crit resistance. Otherwise, it's pretty much useless and you'd rather play a raw damage instead. So next up we have Lisbeth, Fall on Street, which is a melee skill, Blunt and Holy. It has 48 switch gauge and 82 break gauge, 1110% damage for each AoE. Bonus, damage plus 50% to enemy when using Holy skill, good. When equipping one or more critical skill in the same set, plus 500 attack. It's good, and it also increases in break gauge, so 82 break gauge is a lot, so it can be really useful for enemy that has blunt break or holy blunt break or any of those combination. Really good, though it is also one of the oldest skills and there are better. I believe there's a stronger alternative holy mace skill if I remember correctly, so it's still decent. It can be really useful. Starry Ballerina Silica is a pass skill that can give you 18% attack when your HP is below 50%. It is good for bow, I would say. Enhanced Petrify 4, Petrify Resistance plus 44%. That is a good power skill if you want to equip it on the ring. And for Rush, you gain 50% damage when using Switch, which is okay, decent passive, especially only good for ring if you have Enhanced Petrify Res 5. You can combine it with this one and you will have over 100% Petrify resistance. Amazing. Other than that, it's a decent pass skill, but I would say this is mostly used for your ring. Passionate Partner Asuna, it is a Raven skill with Frost and Earth. We have 20 switch gauge and 13 break gauge. Yeah, 1200% damage in a target. Frostbite, it will give Frostbite 3 stack at specific rate, 30 seconds, 2 slot bonus, critical damage plus 120%. Now, this skill here is mostly used as a rapier fodder for your mod for 120% critical damage, and if you have any fodder that gives a crit rate like 300% crit rate and combining with this one, it can be really useful. But I'm pretty sure there are better alternatives, so it's only used when there are good scenario where you can crit with rapier on your rapier mod. Otherwise, it's decent for now, but it's a decent fodder as well for your rapier mod. Next, we have Fishing Girl Yuki. It's a connect sword, so sword slash and win with 36 switch gauge and 48 break gauge, which is not bad. It has 300% damage in a target. Jar of Ice 4 buff, defense plus 10 per stack, 3 stacks for 20 seconds. So you can get up to 990 defense, flat defense. If you can keep that up, it can be useful. But if you look at the connect skill here, it recovers your HP, so you recover 1500, 3000 and 4500 when hitting with skills. The recovery is decent if you can't really use any of your pots. Otherwise, I think this connect skill is somewhat decent, not really useful. The only thing that is useful is probably the Jar of Ice buff. If you can keep that up, it will be amazing at max stacks. Next up, we have Modest of Accomplishment Sachi with a spear skill, Frost and Fire. It has 25 switch gauge and 29 break gauge, 1300 20% damage AoE, 2 slot bonus, attack rise 500 times of the number of critical skill in the same set, damage plus 50% to enemy using fire skills. So this is a mod skill, and I would say it is not the best fire spear mod. There are better alternatives, but it has fast animation, which I really like. And when it comes to this first bonus, it kind of restricted where you have to build around critical skill, at least like 3 critical skill or 2. If you're fine with that, 3 will be amazing, so you can get 1500 attack. Otherwise, 1000 attack is still decent, and the second bonus makes it up. So I would say it's a decent mod spear, not the best. There are better alternative that is much stronger. If you don't have that, you can still use this one, it's still decent. Next, we have Youngest Angler Yui, which is a pass skill. You have Vital Essential 4, which gives you a flat defense of 390, which is a lot. Inflict Burn, when the target is using switch, inflict burn 5 stack for 30 seconds. This one can be good if you can play around burn on yourself, otherwise it's kind of pretty much useless. Purifying Flame 4 deals 80% fire element damage to enemy, which is good. So overall I would say this skill can be really good. If you can cleanse this burn, it will be much better. The flat defense is good, it has high flat defense, but there are better alternatives. Of course, if you don't have anything better, this Yui can be still good on your sword build. And for last, we have Unspected Big Cat Xenon, which is a bow skill. Frozen Water. It has 34 switch gauge, 35 break gauge, not bad. 1210% damaging a target, Hunter I4 buff, the lower your HP, critical rate increased by 50 seconds, and less likely to attract aggro from the enemy. These are decent support skills if you're playing any crit content with bow. Otherwise, when it comes to late game, most of the late game boss has high crit resistance, so it is kind of bad. When I mean high crit resistance in this video, I mean over 200 crit rate, maybe 400 crit rate resistant. So that means you will have hard time to crit. And for Awakening, you gain 50% more damage on switch. This skill here, I would say, is a decent bow spear, but when it comes to meta, it doesn't really matter, it's kind of bad, right? So that was all the skills. Now the question is this banner worth to summon on? Well, it really depends on your skill set or your build. Do you need any of these skills? It can be good, but I would say these skills are pretty much all. I think the last time these skills were released was last year, right? But they're not better alternative. And I can also say that the skills you have seen so far right now, they are in the general pool or in your free pools that you have a chance to get. So getting skills that are in general pool is not really worth it. You can get them by any other chances, used randomly. You can get, I believe these 4 here, Crane, Asuna, Xenon, and Lifa. I'm pretty sure they are not in general pool, but they are in the free pools, so you can have a chance to get there. These as well are in the free pools as well, I believe. And the rest should be in the general pool. Yeah, the rest are in general pool that you get. So I would say it is not really worth summon this banner. You should save your Arcane Gem for something better. This is just a bait banner. But yeah, so that's my opinion. Do not summon on this banner. Save your Arcane Gems for better banner in the future. And that's for me. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Take care now and bye bye.